Alright folks, this is Sultan, and I'm sorry my last few videos have been more on the downside than the positive side, but I'm glad to break the trend and share some good news with you. Well, it's good news on the back of some bad news, but good news nonetheless, and I hope the trend continues. We're seeing some interesting developments in Germany. It's unclear whether Olaf Scholz is taking a firm stand against uncontrolled migration out of genuine concern for his people, or because it's election season where the AfD celebrated big gains in Thuringia, where they came in first, and Saxony, where they finished a close second behind the CDU. However, it doesn't mean they'll form the government, as Scholz has urged others not to ally with the far-right party, the AfD. If they choose to unite against the AfD rather than responding to the legitimate concerns of their people, they may succeed in preventing the AfD forming a government this time, but not in the future, because this will push more people towards the AfD and thus enabling them to form governments without any alliances. Anyway, this video is not about Germany's internal politics, but rather about some encouraging new developments from the Scholz administration. So, you remember how last week a Syrian man with ties to ISIS killed 3 people in Solingen, Germany, and injured around a dozen people by stabbing people? Seems like it's the national sport over there. So, looks like it is not going unnoticed. After the Solingen stabbings, a few warm-blooded Germans came out. Basically, they were saying remigrate them, send them back, deport them. I don't know the political views of these people. I don't know if they're really far-right. I don't know much about it, but I can't blame these people. These terrible migration policies of the current politicians are amplifying these sentiments, so you can't really blame them. So, is the German establishment getting the message? On the 29th of July this year, the Federal Interior Ministry banned the Islamic Center Hamburg and its alleged offshoots in Berlin, Munich, and Frankfurt. The police stormed and searched a total of 53 mosques, prayer rooms, club rooms, and private homes in 8 federal states and confiscated money, 5 properties, and other assets. So in Hamburg, masked officers used rams and chainsaws to force their way into the Blue Mosque, the oldest Shia mosque in Europe. The Islamic Center Hamburg was under investigation for several months over its alleged support for Lebanon Hezbollah group, which is backed by Iran. Hezbollah is classified as a terrorist group by Germany. Check out what the German Interior Minister Nancy Faeser had to say.
Wir haben heute das Islamische Zentrum Hamburg verboten. Nach den umfassenden Durchsuchungsmaßnahmen haben unsere Sicherheitsbehörden das beschlagnahmte Material ausgewertet. Gesichert ist nun, das Islamische Zentrum Hamburg handelt und richtet sich gegen unsere Verfassungsordnung. Deshalb wenden wir eins der schärfsten Schwerter unseres Rechts an, ein Verbot dieser Organisation. Das ist ein weiterer konsequenter Schritt gegen islamistischen Extremismus. Mir ist sehr wichtig, klar zu unterscheiden. Wir handeln nicht gegen eine Religion. Wir unterscheiden klar zwischen Islamisten, gegen die wir hart vorgehen, und den vielen Musliminnen und Muslimen, die zu unserem Land gehören und ihren Glauben leben.
Funnily enough, they cried Islamophobia right after this. In response to this action, on the social media platform X, the Interior Ministry of Iran called the ban an example of Islamophobia and a violation of freedom of expression. Iran, that beats up women for not wearing a tablecloth, is complaining about a lack of freedom of expression? Look, they know what they're doing. They're playing you. They came up with an ingenious idea of using your own values like free speech, tolerance, and freedom of religion, all things antithetical to their way of life. But they saw they could put your own ideals to good use by using them against you. And that's exactly what they're doing. Germany, of all countries, is showing some spine, probably because they literally have a zero tolerance towards anti-Semitism. Maybe. Let's hope other European countries follow Germany's lead, at least on this. However, that's not why I made the video. Germany is also responsible for this migration crisis, thanks to Angela Merkel's open borders policy. She ruined it, and only now Germans are starting to see its horrible effects on their society. It looks like the German government is ready to take some action. Or maybe it's just the election season, I don't know, so don't hold me to it. How effective it will be remains to be seen. But at least like Rishi Sunak, they're trying to do something. Unlike Keir Starmer, these guys are sending the message to the public that yes, we hear you. Maybe two-tier Keir should learn a thing or two from them. So, Germany just deported 28 Afghans back to Taliban-run Afghanistan. Let me remind you, one of the biggest challenges the German government had been facing was how to deport people to a state that is not recognized by the German government. Well, it looks like they don't care about it anymore purely because of the pressure that is being built by the public. This tells me that our British people are not pressuring their government as effectively or as strongly as their German counterparts because your leader, your two-tier Keir, is doubling down on your complaints around migration.
I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far-right thuggery.
Here's how CNN reported it. A deportation flight bound for Afghanistan carrying 28 Afghan nationals left Germany on Friday morning, a day after the German government pledged to strengthen its asylum regulations in the wake of a deadly knife attack. According to German news magazine Der Spiegel, the deportations are the result of months of negotiations and planning. Der Spiegel reported that each deportee, all of whom were male, received a payment of 1,000 euros. The spokesperson for Saxony's interior minister was unable to confirm this. The government spokesperson, Stefan Haberstreit, said that the German government has made intensive efforts to deport migrants who have committed serious crimes back to Afghanistan and Syria in the wake of a knife attack on a police officer in the city of Mannheim at the end of May. I made a detailed video on that. You can go and check it out. Links in the description. So I think they got serious after that event, not because they valued the life of that police officer so much, but because the AFD is using it and getting more popular by the day. That's what scares them. In fact, this is what two-tier Keir said yesterday in Germany. Progressives have to provide the better answer during a visit to Germany. This is how The Guardian reported it. Keir Starmer has expressed concerns that the UK could face a rise in mass far-right populism as seen in Germany and France, as he said it was his mission to inject some hope into the country. Starmer said the increase in support for such groups was something that occupies my time. So, they don't care about the people who are dying. They're worried, as we have been warning for years now, that their inaction is pushing people towards the right. I can't blame them. Even if some of those people are far right, I understand their frustration. Not that I agree with their ideology, but I understand. When your politicians don't listen to you and when you complain to them using your democratic process, all you do is shun them away or shut them down or call them names, of course they're gonna get more angry. Of course they're gonna go towards the people that hate you, i.e. the far right. So I don't blame them. So that's the reason why they are maybe just starting to think that they need to do something about it. Not because they care about their people. Let's just start with the violent ones first and then force them to make the decision on their future. Not on the basis of how violent they are, but on the basis of whether we can afford to have an extra 1.2 million unskilled illegal migrants in Britain. Because at the end of the day, even if they weren't violent and ruining the social fabric of these countries, the question of whether they are useful for your country or not still remains. That's where the debate should be at. If one migrant kills an innocent child or a person in rural England or Germany, then that's it. Those people didn't deserve that or ask for it. Stop playing lottery with the lives of your citizens. Anyway, let's hope we start seeing some news from the UK as well, especially after Yvette Cooper said that 14,000 illegal migrants will be deported by the end of the year. Let's see. Keep speaking up, people. Get an account on X because that's where the real conversations take place. Politicians, journalists, influential people, they all hang out there. That's why your opinion matters there more than, say, in YouTube or Facebook comments. So I hope you like today's good news. As always, I would say that your support matters a lot. You can be my patron and get priority links to my live shows, which I am planning to do a lot more of. You can ask me questions. And you can also get to see early releases before they're released to the public on patreon.com/Sultan, or just buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/Sultan. Or if you can't do any of that, then that's perfectly fine. Just give it a like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, ta-da. If you'd like to support my work, you can become my patron by going to patreon.com/Sultan, or you can simply buy me a coffee.